There is something you have been avoiding. You know exactly what it is. It sits in a corner of your mind that you have learned to walk past without looking. You have become so skilled at not seeing it that you almost forgot it was there. Almost. On April 26th, at 7:31 in the evening Eastern Time, the full moon rises at 6 degrees and 2 minutes of Scorpio. And Scorpio does not allow corners to stay dark. This is the sign that rules everything hidden, everything buried, everything you told yourself you would deal with later. Later has arrived. The full moon is the flashlight, and it is pointed directly at the thing you have been pretending does not exist. Here is what nobody is telling you about this particular lunation. This is not just any full moon in Scorpio. This one arrives while Pluto, the ruler of Scorpio, sits at 4 degrees of Aquarius in a precise square to the lunar axis. The lord of the underworld is not just watching this full moon. He is amplifying it, pressurizing it, demanding that whatever surfaces does not get pushed back down. At the same time, Mars, the traditional ruler of Scorpio, is charging through Aries at 20 degrees, adding aggressive energy to every revelation, every confrontation, every truth that claws its way into the light. Two rulers, both activated. The moon at maximum brightness in the sign of secrets. Something is about to be seen that has been hiding for a very long time. In this video, you will discover 3 things. First, the exact astronomical mechanics of this full moon and why the specific degree of 6 Scorpio carries weight that most readings will not mention. Second, the physical and emotional signals your body is already sending you as this lunation approaches, signs that the underground pressure is building toward the surface. And third, a 3-day protocol designed specifically for Scorpio full moons that transforms painful revelation into permanent liberation. If you have been feeling something stirring in your gut this week, if old memories have been surfacing without invitation, if you have been dreaming of water or basements or locked doors, stay here. The moon is about to show you what you have been refusing to see. Let me ground this in the astronomy first. On April 26th, the sun will be at 6 degrees and 2 minutes of Taurus, the sign of stability, security, and everything we hold on to for comfort. Directly opposite, 180 degrees away, the moon will reach fullness at the exact same degree of Scorpio, the sign that asks what we are willing to release, what must die so something else can live, what we are gripping so tightly that our hands have gone numb. Every full moon is an opposition between the sun and moon. Every full moon illuminates by contrast, showing us the tension between 2 ways of being. But the Taurus-Scorpio axis is perhaps the most visceral of all 12 oppositions, because it deals with the most primal human experiences: survival, resources, what we need to feel safe, and what happens when that safety is threatened or revealed to be an illusion. At 6 degrees of Scorpio, this full moon activates what traditional astrologers called the Via Combusta, the burning way. This is a section of the zodiac between 15 degrees Libra and 15 degrees Scorpio that ancient astrologers considered particularly intense, volatile, and difficult to navigate. The moon at 6 degrees Scorpio is deep inside this burning corridor. Whatever she illuminates will not be revealed gently. It will be revealed with fire. The Chaldean astrologers of ancient Babylon tracked the moon's passage through these degrees with particular attention. They noted that lunations in this section of the sky tended to coincide with revelations that could not be ignored, truths that burned through denial, secrets that surfaced whether anyone wanted them to or not. They called these moons the torches of the underworld because they brought light to places that had been deliberately kept dark. Now let me show you what makes this specific full moon different from other Scorpio lunations. Pluto, the modern ruler of Scorpio, sits at 4 degrees of Aquarius, forming a T-square with the sun and moon. In astrological geometry, a T-square is one of the most dynamic and demanding configurations possible. It creates pressure that must be released, tension that demands resolution. The point of the T-square, in this case Pluto, becomes the focal point through which all that pressure flows. Pluto in Aquarius is already transforming collective structures, power dynamics, and our relationship with technology and community. When this full moon activates Pluto through the T-square, the personal and collective become entangled. The secret you have been keeping may turn out to be connected to larger patterns you never recognized. The truth surfacing in your life may be a microcosm of truth surfacing everywhere. Mars adds another layer. At 20 degrees of Aries, Mars is in his home sign, operating at full warrior capacity. He forms a supportive trine to the Sun in Taurus, and an inconjunct to the moon in Scorpio. This creates a situation where the aggressive energy is available, but slightly misaligned with the emotional revelation. You may feel the urge to act on what you discover, to confront, to fight, to force resolution. But the inconjunct asks for adjustment rather than direct action. The wisdom of this full moon is not in what you do immediately after the truth surfaces. It is in how you hold the truth long enough to understand what it actually means before you respond. Let me tell you what the ancients understood about Scorpio that modern culture has largely forgotten. In Rome, Scorpio was associated with the god Pluto and the goddess Proserpina, the king and queen of the underworld. But the underworld in Roman mythology was not simply a place of death. It was the realm where seeds spent the winter, where the dead were transformed rather than destroyed, where everything that disappeared from the surface world continued to exist in a different form. The Romans understood that nothing truly vanishes. It only changes location. What you bury does not die. It descends, it waits, and eventually, it rises again. The Greeks before them told the story of Persephone, the maiden who was taken to the underworld and became its queen. Her story was not a tragedy. It was an initiation. She descended as a girl and rose as a woman who could walk between worlds, who understood both the flowers of spring and the silence of the deep earth. Every Scorpio full moon is a Persephone moment. Something in you is being asked to descend, to see what lives in your own underworld, and to return to the surface changed by what you witnessed. The question is whether you will go willingly or be dragged. In the Vedic tradition, the constellation we call Scorpio contains several nakshatras, lunar mansions that the ancient Indian astrologers tracked with precision. The 6th degree of Scorpio falls in Anuradha, a nakshatra associated with friendship, devotion, and the ability to find success despite obstacles. But Anuradha also carries a shadow. It rules the things we do to be accepted, the compromises we make to maintain connection, the parts of ourselves we hide because we fear rejection. A full moon in this nakshatra illuminates not just secrets, but specifically the secrets we keep to preserve relationships. The truth that surfaces may be about what you have been hiding to keep someone close, or what someone has been hiding from you for the same reason. Now let me tell you what this has been doing to your body. Because the body always knows before the mind admits. The moon rules the body's fluids, its cycles, its unconscious rhythms. When the moon approaches fullness in Scorpio, the sign that governs elimination, the reproductive system, and everything the body tries to purge or transform, physical symptoms begin to appear that carry messages, if you know how to read them. You may have noticed changes in your elimination patterns this week. Constipation or its opposite. The body holding on or suddenly releasing. This is not random. Scorpio rules the colon, the organs of elimination, the parts of the body that decide what stays and what goes. When a full moon approaches in this sign, the body begins its own process of deciding what to keep and what to release. Pay attention to what your body is doing. It is practicing the same discernment your psyche will soon be forced to perform. Your sleep may have been different. Not necessarily worse, but deeper, heavier. You may be waking with the residue of dreams you cannot quite remember, but that leave an emotional texture on your morning. Dreams of water are particularly common before Scorpio full moons. Dreams of swimming in deep pools, of finding yourself underwater, of basements flooding, of rain that will not stop. Water is Scorpio's element, and in dreams, water typically represents emotion, the unconscious, everything that flows beneath the surface of waking life. If your dreams have been wet, your psyche is preparing for the flood of awareness that the full moon brings. You may have noticed old memories surfacing without invitation, a face you have not thought of in years, appearing in your mind while you were doing something mundane, a song triggering a cascade of feelings from a decade ago, a smell transporting you to a room you had forgotten existed. This is the approach of the Scorpio moon, stirring the sediment at the bottom of your psychological waters. What rises now is rising for a reason. It is connected to whatever truth is preparing to surface at the full moon. Do not push these memories away. Let them float. They are messengers. There is another signal that deserves attention. Your relationship with intimacy this week. Not just sexual intimacy, though that is part of it, but emotional intimacy, psychological intimacy, the willingness to be seen without armor. You may have felt a strange push-pull dynamic, wanting closeness but fearing what closeness might reveal. Or you may have found yourself wanting to confess something, to finally say the thing you have been holding, only to pull back at the last moment. This oscillation between revelation and concealment is the signature of an approaching Scorpio full moon. The pressure to surface is building. The resistance to surfacing is also building. The full moon is the moment when pressure exceeds resistance, and what was hidden becomes visible whether you plan to reveal it or not. Now let me show you where this full moon lands in your chart. Because the house axis activated by this lunation determines what kind of truth is preparing to surface in your specific life. If you are Taurus or Taurus rising, this full moon lands on your relationship axis, the 1st and 7th houses. Truth about partnership is surfacing. What you have not been saying to your partner, what your partner has not been saying to you. The dynamic between self and other, that has been operating unconsciously, is about to become conscious. This can be confrontational. It can also be liberating. It depends on whether the truth that surfaces is greeted with curiosity or defensiveness. If you are Scorpio or Scorpio rising, the full moon lands on your 1st and 7th house axis from the opposite direction. Your identity is being illuminated by relationship mirror. Who you become when you are with another person versus who you are when alone. The mask you wear in partnership is becoming visible, perhaps for the first time. If you are Leo or Leo rising, this full moon activates your 4th and 10th house axis, home and career, private life and public life, the foundation and the achievement. Truth about your family or living situation may surface, or truth about how your professional ambitions have affected your sense of home. The basement of your life, both literal and metaphorical, is being illuminated. If you are Aquarius or Aquarius rising, the same axis is activated from the opposite direction. Your public role is being questioned by private truth. What you have been hiding at home to protect your image abroad is preparing to surface. If you are Gemini or Gemini rising, the full moon lights up your 6th and 12th house axis. Daily work and hidden matters, health routines and unconscious patterns. Something about your job or your body or your daily habits that you have not been acknowledging is preparing to become visible. The 12th house rules what we hide even from ourselves. The 6th house rules what we do every day without thinking. This full moon connects them. If you are Sagittarius or Sagittarius rising, the same axis activates from the opposite direction. Your unconscious patterns are affecting your daily life in ways you have not recognized. A hidden addiction, a secret habit, a psychological pattern running beneath awareness is about to surface in your routines. If you are Cancer or Cancer rising, this full moon activates your 5th and 11th house axis, creativity and community, personal joy and collective belonging, romance and friendship. Truth about what brings you pleasure versus what you do to fit in is surfacing. Or truth about a creative project or romantic connection that you have not been fully honest about. If you are Capricorn or Capricorn rising, the same axis from the opposite direction. Your social circle is hiding something from you, or you are hiding something from your social circle. Group dynamics are about to be illuminated. If you are Aries or Aries rising, the full moon lands on your 2nd and 8th house axis. Personal resources and shared resources. What you own versus what you owe. Self-worth and merged worth. Financial secrets may surface, yours or someone else's, or deeper than finances. Truth about what you value and whether you have been betraying those values for security. If you are Libra or Libra rising, the same axis from the opposite direction. Shared resources and intimacy are being illuminated. Joint finances, inheritance, debt. The psychological dynamics of merging with another person financially or emotionally. If you are Virgo or Virgo rising, this full moon activates your 3rd and 9th house axis, immediate environment and distant horizons, daily communication and larger belief systems, truth about a sibling, a neighbor, or something in your local environment, or truth about a belief you hold that has been operating unexamined. If you are Pisces or Pisces rising, the same axis from the opposite direction. Your philosophy is hiding something. Your beliefs about meaning and truth are about to be tested by local, practical reality. Here is your 3-day protocol for this full moon. This is not a gentle ritual. Scorpio does not do gentle. This is a structured descent and return, designed to work with the energy of revelation rather than against it. Day 1 is April 25th, the day before the full moon. This is the day of preparation. The moon is not yet full, but she is close. The pressure is building. On this day, your task is to locate the door. Somewhere in your body there is tension that has been growing, a tightness in your jaw, a knot between your shoulder blades, a heaviness in your pelvis. Find it. Do not try to release it yet. Just locate it. Put your hand on that place and ask one question silently. What are you protecting me from seeing? Do not demand an answer. Plant the question like a seed in dark soil. Then go to sleep. The question will work through your dreams. Day 2 is April 26th, the day of the full moon. Wake before sunrise if you can. In the hours before dawn, the veil between conscious and unconscious is thinnest. Sit in darkness with a single candle and a piece of paper. Write at the top of the paper, "The truth I have been avoiding is," then stop. Do not write anything else yet. Let the candle burn. Let your breath slow. Let the silence expand until it becomes uncomfortable. In that discomfort, a word or an image or a sensation will arise. It may be faint. It may be sharp. Write whatever comes, even if it makes no sense, even if it frightens you, even if you want to pretend you did not think it. The full moon reaches peak illumination at 7:31 p.m. Eastern Time. At that moment, wherever you are, stop, close your eyes, place your hand on the place in your body where you found tension the day before, and read what you wrote. Not to analyze it, not to fix it, just to let it be seen. That is all the moon is asking. Let the truth be seen. Day 3 is April 27th, the day after. The full moon is beginning to wane. The intensity is receding. But what was revealed remains. On this day, your task is integration. Take the paper from the night before. Read it again in daylight. Notice how different the truth feels in the light of ordinary day. It may seem smaller. It may seem more manageable. It may seem like something you can actually address, rather than something that threatens to overwhelm you. This is the gift of the Scorpio full moon. It shows you the monster in the dark. And in the showing, the monster becomes a problem that can be solved rather than a terror that can only be fled. On day 3, identify one concrete action you can take in response to the truth that surfaced. Not a massive transformation. One action, one conversation, one decision, one boundary, one release. Write that action on a new piece of paper. Burn the paper from day 2 safely, giving the revealed truth to fire. Keep the paper from day 3, where you will see it. The action is not optional. It is the completion of the ritual. Revelation without action is just entertainment. Action is what transforms awareness into change. There is something else I need you to understand about this particular full moon. It is happening during the all planets direct window that closes on May 6th. What this means is that the truth surfacing now has unusual momentum behind it. In a typical Scorpio full moon, revelation happens, but follow-through can get tangled in retrograde delays. Not this time. Every planet is moving forward. The truth that surfaces can be acted upon immediately. The change that revelation demands can be implemented without cosmic drag. This is an opportunity that should not be wasted. Whatever you see in the flashlight beam of this full moon, do not wait months to respond. The window for clear action is open now. It will begin to close in 10 days. I want to leave you with something the Hellenistic astrologers understood about Scorpio that has been largely forgotten. They associated Scorpio not just with death, but with what they called the fixed water of the soul. Fixed water. Think about what that means. Water that does not flow. Water that has become still enough to reflect. Water that has stopped moving and become a mirror. The Scorpio full moon is fixed water becoming a mirror for your soul. It shows you yourself as you actually are, not as you wish you were, not as you present yourself to others. The reflection may be disturbing. It may reveal features you have avoided seeing. But a mirror that lies is useless. A mirror that shows truth is the most valuable tool for transformation that exists. What will you see when you look? What truth is preparing to surface from the depths of your own Scorpio waters? You already know. Part of you has always known. That knowing is what has been creating the tension, the strange dreams, the old memories surfacing, the body signals you have been trying to ignore. The full moon does not create truth. It only removes the darkness that has been hiding it. If something in you recognized itself in these words, write it in the comments. Not the polished version, the raw one, the thing that stirred in your gut when I described what Scorpio reveals. Your naming of it becomes the first step of your descent, and the next person who reads your words may find in your courage the permission for their own. If someone came to mind while you listened, someone who is about to have truth surface whether they want it to or not. Send them this video. It may be the preparation they did not know they needed. Subscribe and turn on notifications, because 10 days after this full moon, Pluto stations retrograde and a different kind of descent begins. What I will share about that transit will reshape how you move through the rest of the spring. The moon is rising in Scorpio. The flashlight is turning on. The universe has spoken. What comes next is in your hands.